Okay, so this is from Tony. Shame. I'm a very self-conscious person, seemingly from early childhood. I feel shame very easily whenever I'm criticized, disagreed with, not chosen, etc. But even when I get positive attention because I probably believe I don't deserve it, even secondhand shame by watching other people or even movie characters doing something wrong or stupid is a very intense experience for me. Is it is it enough to stay with the sensations of shame whenever it comes up, or is there something more that I can do to heal this? So what you said there, I relate, completely, even watching movies, and I have that experience. I think it's much, much smaller now, but it can probably still happen for me. So I want to share this one specific thing that happened to me that kind of has made me face shame, and I didn't realize it was shame until it just kind of had the realization. So months ago, I was driving, and then you know how there's the stop sign, and pretty much nobody actually stops, 100% and goes. And if the police is sitting there, watching you, and you don't stop 100%, you're going to get a ticket. That's what happened to me. So the point of this is that because I knew that my driving habits, although I was not driving like a crazy person, there was a little bit of like um, anxiety when I was driving. I mean, that's the most common thing in the world. People are like, I want to get home, I want to get to the place that I'm going, and I want to get there quickly. So you're changing lanes and you're hating the drivers that are driving slowly. And so I knew that I had a little bit of that. And so I thought, if I've been stopped by the police and I got this ticket, this is an opportunity. I mean, I had a giant amount of rage, by the way. I had like a demonic explosion in the car, obviously, when I was alone. So I'm not saying that it was easy, but after I thought to myself, this is an opportunity for me to change how I drive. Because if I'm someone that wants well-being and peace, driving kind of crazy, that's not peace. So I'm literally practicing anxiety. So what did I do? I said every stop sign I'm going to stop the way that nobody wants to stop. And then what happened, which is related to the shame. If there's a car behind me and I know you can see that they're impatient, sometimes they're even close, they're tailgating you. For me to stop and do the full stop, I would feel this thing that I later realized was shame. Because shame is the expectation of punishment. And so what I was in my body, what I was feeling is if I stop 100%, this person is going to get really angry, right? They're going to do something. And so every single time that I've had to stop and there's somebody behind me, I was forced to feel shame. And at the first, I don't know, 100 times, it was horrible because as I was slowing down, something in me was almost like, just don't do it, and just go because this is unbearable. And I later realized, holy crap, this is shame. And so that shows you that exposure, which means something that makes you feel it over and over, eventually leads to it kind of going away. So I calculate probably 100 times that I did that, and there was no difference. I felt it horribly every time. But now I've noticed that it's almost gone. So I still kind of see that there's somebody behind me, but it's almost gone. So I think the most important thing that I said is exposure. The only tricky thing is to do it with something that's not like insanely difficult for you that maybe you just won't be able to do over and over. And then let me see if there's something else here. Um, I mean, and all of that is so normal because you said I feel shame if you're criticized, disagreed with, or even if you have positive attention. And I'm trying to think of why you would feel shame because I've had the same thing. Oh, it's almost like if somebody, oh, this is a good one. Um, this is particularly also abusive of a parent to do this. Um, let's say that you're a child and an adult, like your uncle says, "Wow, you're very smart," or you're looking good. And then the parent says something that puts you down in that moment. Like, "Oh, they're not as smart as you think, like he cheated," or something like that. That is a terrible moment. So that could be the source of it, that you were praised and somebody literally in that moment shamed you and said you shouldn't be praised. You don't deserve this praise. So I think that's what creates that. And it sucks, but it's normal. And let's see, secondhand shame. Yeah, I experienced that. Um, oh, it made me think if you can find videos of embarrassing things, I'm sure there are videos like that on the internet, like cringe, like,
Mm,
cringy. Um,
yeah.
that can make you, that's a good practice. And then notice what happens and how unbearable it is. And remember, if it's very, very like difficult, just do it for 10 seconds and then you increase it. Like, for example, for me, this is like a good example. We're recording this Q&A. This is the second one. So when I clicked on the first Q&A to see myself, or any other video that I've been in lives or whatever, I do have a little bit of that. So there's still something that says, I look bad. Why did I say it that way? All of this stuff. And so I forced myself to watch a lot of it, a lot of it. And so there's these little peaks of, ooh, I shouldn't have said that. This didn't look good. And then after a while, I just got used to it. But I believe that I still have to do more. But I think the most important thing to hear is that in the beginning, it's difficult, but once you get used to it, you're like, my God, how was this ever difficult? It's almost like nothing. So that's the potential of this, right?
Yeah. And then taking it, what you said, Steve, about the like, it's a very safe way to explore it is with videos that trigger cringe in you. That's a very like surface level thing. But again, like embodying the character that is full of shame or embarrassment. I think it's embarrassment that goes with the like positive things. It's like a lot of attention and then like all the spotlights on me. I feel embarrassed. Like I shouldn't, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. It's a fear of being judged again, but for like being good or like not being good at being good.
Yeah.
Like maybe you have to like I'm just thinking of school because it's such a hotbed environment for these kind of things. Like you've done something well in class and you have to stand up, walk to the front of the class and receive like something. And the attention's all on you. And then you have to like there's the anxiety of like doing it right, taking it, like having a picture or whatever. But when you get into the rhythm of like doing these characters, like as in embodying like everything, you can really explore. I mean, imagine how funny it gets to the point where you're able to like be like an absolute cringe lord, like in your own safety of your own home. Like think if you think of things that are like very humiliating, honestly, if you're honest, like what makes me feel humiliated in front of someone, and then just like doing it and just being safe in doing it, is an immensely powerful practice. Um, I mean, something that I've done is like doing things in front of the mirror, like as if like I'm speaking to someone, and then like I can see like how embarrassing it looks if I respond a certain way, like a really exaggerated, like goofy way or something, like dancing like an idiot. But like you're really pushing it to just like see how just what comes up because the more that you sort of push it, the more that will come up, and you're actually seeing the depths of what's there. Um, but yeah, I think starting with the sort of triggering videos is a great one.
Yeah, and I just thought that because shame is this expectation that, like, I have this image of like, don't hit me. So you're like literally doing this, cowering because you're afraid to be hit. And hit could be physically or just with words, something very cruel. And I think that healing shame, and it could take years because depending on how much of how much it happened to you. But what was I going to say? That what's happening when you expose yourself to moments that make you feel shame is that you're slowly learning that when you do it, nothing bad actually happens. Even though in the beginning it could be horrible, and then you could almost think like this is bad enough that I don't want to feel this. But then if you keep going, your whole nervous system is kind of getting used to the fact that you do something and then you don't die. Basically, that's what, like, oh, if I did something in front of someone, I mean that's the highest level, so that'd be very difficult in front of other people. But if you said something, so an example could be when you're starting to um, own the fact that you have so much anger and rage, and then it could be at your father or your mother, even to say the words, I hate my mom or I hate my dad, even if you've never said it in your life, even to say that, there could be shame there. Why? Because the moment that you say it, or even as you're imagining it and you're about to say it, there is that same sensation that you don't want to feel. If I say it, I'm going to be hit. Somebody's going to hit me. And so even something like that, you're by yourself. If it's difficult, where you're almost like, I can't say it, I can't say it, then you know that that's a really good one to eventually kind of say it and then see what happens. You're not going to die. And so I think healing shame is basically like showing yourself over and over that when you feel shame, you don't die. That's literally, I think, what's happening.
Yeah. One more thing that I just remembered that in my experience would come up the more comfortable I was becoming with, um, these exercises and shame and cringe and things like this. Memories would come up that I'd locked away that were shameful. Things that I'd done that I deemed as being shameful would come up, and they would be quite potent because I'd allowed access to them now, not through choosing, but through doing this work. And I had to realize that that's what was happening and stay with it because it would be really uncomfortable to let the whole memory play out, especially if it's something that I had done that I just thought was so shameful or whatever it was. And then for me, that's when, the real processing come because that was linked to these actual memories. And uh, yeah, just allowing them to play all the way through. But there being a lot of resistance, it would come up and be like, oh, no, 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 no. But then spotting it and allowing it to come, and then there'd be contractions and then release, and that can be expected as well.
Yeah. And just one more thing, and I think it is for all emotions and shame. The reason that it seems often impossible to heal something like shame, I think we like to be as direct as possible, even if it's disappointing. If you were shamed a lot, imagine that it would take you feeling shame 1,000 times. So, if you're at a party and somebody says something to you and then you blush because you're so embarrassed, that was just one. So why does it seem impossible to heal it? Because first of all, if you're not even if you don't even have the desire to heal it, you're probably going to feel it very rarely, right? You might even avoid situations so you feel it here and you feel it there. So if you imagine that it's 1,000, that you would have to feel it 1,000 times for it to be gone, you're never going to get even close if you're not even trying to feel it, right? So what we said, look for videos. This is an active thing. It's like I'm choosing to face my shame, and even if you choose to face it, how long would it take if it's 1,000, right? Let's just having that number. It's going to take years. And so this is why people often say that healing is a trap. This is like one of the most like narcissistic things that you can say to your pain, which is you're just a trap, right? That you don't have any pain. It's just an illusion. It's going to last forever. No, it means that there's so much that if you felt it 20 times, 50 times, 200 times, you might not see any difference. And then you're going to say, oh, it's never going to end. If you have what is that expression where there's a will, there's a way? And so if you have the will to see it to the very end, it might take years. Let's say it takes 5 years. But from now, and then imagine you're at year 5 and you're like, oh my God, I don't experience shame anymore. It doesn't exist anymore in my experience. That is still incredible, even if it took 5 years, right?
Yeah. Another quick thought that came to my mind is also that Tony's saying that shame does come very easy and always has. Um, it's also possible or probable that that is what's maybe a safe emotion for you in those moments, but is keeping a lid on the buried anger as well. Um, so, there might be shame that's there as something that's available, um, that's keeping a lid on what's really underneath. And from what you've told us in your post so far, that maybe uh, it's the beginning of getting to the real buried rage. Um, So in conjunction with what we've said, and then also like maybe seeing if there's anger there in the same kind of way.
Yeah. Okay.